Hi folks, this is page 48 and 49. 48 it's kind of an exercise song. It's all in the left hand and it combines melody and chords. And what happens is you've got this melody, then suddenly the top note of the chord is what our ear hears as the melody. So what happens is you've got that little part and then it repeats. That's the first line. Second line's a little different, but at the end it's kind of like the beginning. So I want you to go through this. I want you to try it. I'm not concerned about you worrying about getting it perfect, but I'm going to go over two songs now, 48, 49. These are still in the C position, and then we're going to go into the G position. So here we go. This is the bottom of page 48. Four beats and then a tie to one more beat. So here's how to work through this, and you can do this pretty quickly as long as you've been practicing your chords. You're going to want to hook up that melody with the C chord. At that point, you should have been practicing C chord going to F chord. You should be able to do that. You might not be able to do it fast and smooth, but if you're kind of up to date, that should be feasible. So if you're up to date, great, work through it. If you're not quite up to date, I'm going to suggest that you try this, work through it. Don't worry about perfection, but try to get the concepts. We've got moving chords where it's just one hand. That top note is the melody. The first two measures repeat at the end of that line. Now line two, a little different. And that's going to take some practice. Going from the single note to the chord. Try to keep that smooth. It may be hard. It probably will be. Then the end is a little walk down and then the pattern like the beginning. Okay, so that's a little bit of a workout for your left hand. It's a little bit of a drill practicing those chords. And it's also an exercise in playing melody in the left hand and then harmony at the same time. Now, what we've got on page 49, they call it a little song. They give it a title, Waltzing Chords. It is a waltz. It's 3/4. But basically, this is some chord practice for you. Practice changing back and forth to the three chords we've had, the C, the F, and we've got the G7 now. In the very beginning, we looked at a G chord. Now we've got the G7. So I'm going to show you two measures. So when you're first looking at that, you might just want to stop the video and try that a few times. Then you're going to do it 2 times in a row. Once again, you might want to stop the video and practice that and maybe go back and look again if you need that. When we get into line 2, different chord. And it comes to an end. Often endings are a little bit different. They might be a little stretched out. Something might slow down. So the first line is, it repeats. Next line. Don't worry. if it's not comfortable playing that speed. You can go. You definitely need to be able to change chords at that pace, and sooner or later, even faster. Now, we are flipping over to 50. I am going to go over, I believe I sent videos for this. I'm going to go over 50 and 51. We've got our chart at the top. It gives a keyboard picture. It compares it to notation on paper. Then a little walk up down in the right hand. They go back to giving you little letters inside the notes, but don't get too comfortable because they're going to disappear fast. Little by little, you will get comfortable with some of these notes. For the purposes of this course, if the pace is moving faster, then with your time, you're able to get comfortable and remember the letter names. Feel free, just take a pencil. Don't use pen. If you make a mistake, it makes a big mess. Use a pencil and jot some of these in. Do it lightly because you might want to come back later and erase. So we have the intervals in the G position. I'm going to go a little bit slow. So you might notice that pattern where the thumb is repeating the same note. Then we do it harmonically. That means together. Then we get some songs. I'm going to just play through the whole song slowly. I believe I sent videos on this, and you can always email me if there's something you don't understand. So let's just look at Love Somebody at a kind of slow speed. That's Love Somebody. You're probably going to have to work hands separately. Because we're missing an entire week in this course, and on top of that, we've all been thrown into online, which none of us were ready for or prepared for. I'm going to spend a little bit less time in the G position, but I've mentioned this several times in my papers I've sent you, emails, that if you're going on to 290, you will need to come back on your own and just do some work. If you're taking 290 next term, you've got that week. Really, it's kind of 2 weeks in between. You've got finals week, but I know you've got finals. So you're going to need to do a little bit more if you're going on than if you're just graduating or if you're done with piano. I'm just going to play through A Friend Like You. I believe I pointed out before that the first and second line have the same material. It's just repositioned a little bit. There's a tie. So that drills the intervals. You see slurs and ties. The ones connecting the identical same notes next to each other, those are the ties. The rest just means play smoothly. Now, page 52 is fairly easy. I'm going to let you take a look at that. It's just a little bit with each hand separately. There's some writing pages. If you feel that you've got time, if you know you're going to go on to the next course, I would suggest doing these. If not, we normally have a quiz in the G position, and then we go back to C position for the final. But I'm not going to have that quiz because we really don't have time to prepare for it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what the 2 quiz songs were. I'm going to play through them. I'm not going to do much with them. There are plenty of videos online. If you want to do them and you need some kind of help from me, just let me know. Here's page 54. They introduced the sharp sign at the top. There's A, E sharp, C, C sharp. It's pretty clear with the pictures. And then there's a pink bit of text. And that's talking about the rule. If a sharp appears before a note, it's going to last up until the bar line. It lasts the rest of the measure. That's spelled out for you. So I'm just going to play this through. So the accompaniment or the harmony in this song, the right hand has the melody, but the accompaniment is made up of intervals, not chords. Now, page 56 goes into writing the sharps. We don't do anything with 50. Did I say 56? I said that wrong, 55. All right, 56 and 57 we do not do. 58, this is going to be incredibly important if you go on to the next level. G chord and D7. This is the left hand. In 290, you need these chords in both hands. So there's pink boxes there. I'm not making a lot of this right now. I'm trying to move to cover more material just to give you a sense of what we would have done a little bit more of. If you're not going on, then you don't even have to be worried about this. If you are, then we're going to have to at the end, I'm going to make you a list so you know exactly where you need to work if you're going to go on. And in the beginning of 290, I do a 1-week review that covers these songs. So I usually start at page 65 for that. So cuckoo is the second quiz choice in a normal term. Repeat sign. Normally in a regular term, I go over page 60, 61, couple more songs here. Top of 60 is these chords in the right hand. On 61, they introduce pedal. I don't teach that in the beginning course. Many of you have digital keyboards that don't even have a pedal. I usually go over 62. And then we get to 64. There are pink boxes to point out the chords. And 65 is going to be really important if you're going on. I'm going to stop with this video, but I will provide information later about that. And what I'm going to be doing most likely is the next video I make, I'm actually going to go to the final. I will make a video on that, and I will probably put after the final some of these things that are going to be important if you're going on to the next term. If you're not, it's really up to you. If you're going to continue with piano, then yes, you would want to do them. But if you've got a crazy busy term, maybe now's not the ideal time. I don't want people to be penalized because of us losing that week and because of the learning situation. So that is it, folks, for today.